What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be installing a cheap oil catch can in my Corolla. So here's the catch can right here. This, I don't even know what brand it is. It's literally just a cheap one I ordered off of Amazon. So from what I've read, the price of this really doesn't matter. They usually will do their job no matter what. So, and it comes with a whole bunch of just different valves. Comes with the steel wool or whatever that helps catch the oil inside of the catch can, and it came with some tubing, but since this is the cheapest or one of the cheapest oil catch cans that you can buy, I have read a lot of reviews that this tubing sucks. So instead of it being the cheapest, I ended up buying some new hose that is meant for this. This is from Mishimoto. And this is actually a kit that you can buy just from them on Amazon as well. So this is specifically for their oil catch cans. This is only like 15 bucks. And I think this was like 20 or 25 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I'll put links down below if you guys are interested in adding this. So with all that being said, let's hop into the video. All right, one of the first things I need to figure out too is where I'm gonna mount this thing. So since I have a cold air intake, frees up quite a bit of room over here. We will try to figure out something because we want it to be somewhat convenient, so that way you can unscrew this to be able to get the oil out and clean it out. So you don't want it to be like so far away that like you can't just conveniently unscrew it while it's attached. But I have seen some people attach it somehow to the back of the firewall. I have seen other people attach it to like just random brackets, and I have also seen people attach it to the side of the motor. So I'm gonna mess with it and see, but it comes with a couple holes here, and it comes with some hardware, I believe, inside of here. So we should be able to route something, and you don't want it to come out too far. And I mean, I think this comes with like 4 feet of hose. So I mean, you got to be able to come from the inlet and the outlet of the PCV system. So let's start just mocking some stuff up and see what we can figure out. Alright guys, so after searching for like bolts and some brackets and stuff like that for like 15 minutes and trying to find a spot to put it, I think I finally found the combination that I'm going to use. I have these L brackets. They're not the prettiest and they're white. So I found some black spray paint that I'm going to spray these, and it screws onto the back of this. And what I'm going to do is mount it to where my old air box was. There's a threaded hole right there, and I found the screw for that as well. I'm not exactly sure what size it is, but I'm gonna thread that through the bracket onto there, and then this will get threaded onto here. So pretty much it's gonna mount right in the middle right here. So what I gotta do is I gotta drill these holes open a little bit to fit the screw in here, and after I do that, then I'm gonna paint it, and then while I'm doing that, I'm gonna route all the lines for the oil catch can. Alright, so now that I got it all, well, I got it painted, drilled the holes open, so now we're going to have to take off the top of the intake, and if you have a factory box, you have to figure things out. But we're going to have to take this off, so that way we can pop off the intake manifold. You don't have to pop it all the way off. You just got to take off the couple top bolts, and then just be able to pry it back just enough. Not pry it, but you should be able to pull it back just enough to get to the hose that's back there, and then we will start routing our hoses from there. so I'm not going to take the tubing all the way out. I just got it moved out of the way good enough. Unplug the mass airflow sensor, loosen up this clamp, and just twisted this out of the way. So now on the intake manifold, I believe there's 5 bolts. Well, there's a bolt here, a nut, a bolt, a nut, and a bolt. So I think they're 12 millimeters. We'll take them all out, and then that should let us pull the intake manifold back. Alright, so I just want to give you a quick update where I'm at. I got out these 3 bolts, 2 nuts here. Intake's pretty much loose, but I took off a couple hoses here on the top of the throttle body, and I couldn't figure out why it was still stuck, but I figured out there is a 12 millimeter bolt down from under here, and that is also one you have to remove in order to get this intake off, or intake manifold. So if you guys are going to do this yourself, there's one more bolt hidden underneath the throttle body, and it's a 12 millimeter. It's not the easiest to get to. So here it is. Pretty much looks like the same exact bolts that are on the top, but it's on the bottom. So now you should be able to lift this up, and hopefully we can move this back far enough. We'll take this off for now. So there's a hose right down there. Hopefully you guys can see it. Alright, so there's the hose right there. That's the one that we're going to connect to. And that hose goes to the front of the air intake. So there's also a hose right here that I have disconnected. It's right here. And that goes onto this plastic nipple here. And you're just going to squeeze it and pull that off. And then the next one is going to be right down there. So we're going to squeeze that and take the whole piping off, and then we'll start routing our new ones. Alright guys, so I got that tubing off. So like I said, this pretty much was in the car like this. This one went down to that down there. You can see the bright silver down there. That plugged into that, and then this ran to a plastic nipple that's on the front of the intake. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to run some tubing from that to the oil catch can, and then from the oil catch can back to over here. Alright, so I got the new tubing on there. I just kept it as the full length piece right now. I'll cut it once I figure out where I want to put it. And I reused the clamp that was on the old one, that little spring style clamp. I put that back on there and then put it over it. But you guys can see, hopefully, how oily the inside of my intake, the air intake on that side of the engine is. That's all the oil that's inside of the engine. So that's why we're going to be putting this on there. I probably should clean this up, but I'll probably just wipe it down with a rag just to get as much as I can. But I don't want to get any, I'm going to try not to get any dirt in there. But even though it is kind of a little bit dirty, but I'm trying not to get much dirt in there at all. So, but now I got this hose on. I'm just going to clean this up, and then we can put this back on because we really don't need it back out here again. So that was the only reason why we had to take this off, just to be able to get that tube on there. Alright guys, so you're probably wondering why I'm in my car. Because I need to go get a special barb fitting because they are different size hoses. So I'm running over to Home Depot real quick. I'm gonna pick up a barb fitting. Alright guys, so I just made it to the Home Depot, or I'm actually leaving the Home Depot, and grabbed a Monster for some energy. And then this is what I was talking about. I got a 3/8 splicer barb fitting. That's what it looks like. It looks like that on both sides, so that's what I'm gonna use. Hopefully I got the right size. But now, let's head home. Alright guys, so I just want to show you. Now I already pushed this side in one and I can't get it out, so, but like I said, this is the same on both sides. And now this is the piece we took out of the car. And as you can see, this one is bigger than that one. So this is a 3/4, this is a 3/8 or something like that, 1/2 inch, 3/8, something. And so in order to plug this back in, I need this size hose, but the hose that goes to the catch can is 3/8. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this off, like roughly about like halfway here or whatever. And then we're gonna put this on here because they're the same end here. And then once we do that, we will have a way to connect this back to the intake manifold onto the car. And I do want to say shout out to Jim's Garage Toys. I believe that's how you say his channel. Because he's the one who came up with this idea. I got it from him watching one of his videos a while ago. So, and I just remembered that he did this. So I want to thank him for giving me the idea and make this process a lot easier. Alright, so now here's the stock one right here. I just cut this in half. So that way now this will go in the car like this. And then this barb will press into here. And then we will have our 3/8 to 1/2 inch adapter, so that way we can actually put it in. Alright, and I also cut this foam off of here. I didn't see a need for it, so, but now you can actually see the tube. And now I'm just going to press these together. The stock hose must be a slightly different diameter because the Mishimoto hose went much easier. Alright guys, so I got it all connected. I got them pushed together as good as I could. And then I took some of these, the Mishimoto thing came with some clamps. So I just put 2 clamps on each side of the barb. And now we will throw this onto the car. And here's a closer look at that barb right here. This is the big one right in front of the intake. And that's where this one's gonna go. Alright, so I got the hose on right down there and it routes underneath and comes out back over here. So, and then here's my other hose. So we're gonna I'm gonna go check and see if my bracket's dry or not, and then we'll mount that and then mount the oil catch can on there now. Alright, so I got my bracket right here. It's dry, nice and gloss black, and I got the screw. I'm gonna mount this to here. Alright, so I got the top of it mounted, and then this bottom piece will just screw on. Alright, so that's nice and tight in there. It's a little wobbly because of the bracket, but it's definitely, it'll be sturdy enough for what it is. But now I'm going to have to get the fittings on here, and then we'll plug them in. Alright, so going through the box, I found these 2. So these are the 2 I'm going to use. They supply some Teflon tape, so I'm just going to put a little Teflon tape on these. Alright, and before you press these into the tubes, make sure you put your clamps on first. We're going to put these on, and then we'll press these onto the tube and then clamp them over it so it stays. Alright, so I finally got everything all mounted up and plumbed up. So here's the one side, and then here's the other side that goes down to here. And then this side runs behind to the PCV valve itself. So I have all this all plumbed up. I'm gonna plug everything back up, put my intake back on, and then we should be done. We should be good to go. I'm just gonna start the car up too to make sure everything's running good, and then we'll wrap this up. Alright guys, so I got the car started. Everything looks good. Doesn't seem to be giving me any problems at all. And like I said, if you were having a problem with the hoses, you would see these crush because the hose is too crappy. So that's the reason why I went with this Mishimoto, because it's a very sturdy hose. And it's practically like what OEM would be using for the hoses, versus this, like you can already see it's kinked and everything like that because of how skinny it is. So the wall diameter is very skinny versus this stuff is much thicker. So if you put this stuff in, it would most likely suck in because of the vacuum being pulled. So that's why I upgraded to that. But And also too, I'll give you guys an update, I don't know, within a month or so with how much oil that is catching. So we will see if it's worth putting on this car or not. So, but you could already see how much oil was in the intake itself. So, but I'm hoping that this will help prevent any farther oil from getting into the engine itself. Alright guys, but with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time.